Bonjour, Madame et Monsieur. Je m'appelle Alex Dodds. In English, that's good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Dodds. Welcome to part 5 of episode 64 of Dodds Diaries. Today is Friday, the 15th of September. It's now coming up to it's just on 10:05 in the morning. And today we drove home back to the northeast of England. It's sad, I know. I've enjoyed my time here in Paris, but we got to go home this week. But we don't go straight back home, because we've still got a good day out here to look forward to. We're going to have a few hours here in Paris. We don't go home till 3:15 this afternoon. So what I'm going to do is go to Gare du Nord and do one more train spotting session there, and then we're going to go and have a look at the Bastille, the old prison, which is obviously it's not there anymore, but we're going to go and have a look at it around that area. And then obviously later on we go home at 3:15, and then when we get back to London we'll actually have about 4 hours to kill before we go from King's Cross back to Durham. So we won't be home till midnight, so still going to be a fab day today. So let's enjoy today. Here I am at Gare du Nord. So I'm going to do my last French train spotting session here. The good thing today, the weather's much nicer. I came here on Tuesday morning. There was actually a French national strike on that day. A couple of trains were cancelled, so hopefully more will run today. We're here for about 30-40 minutes.
surmenés à grande vitesse et vous souhaitons un très bon voyage.
Right, time to go back to the lodge now. I need to go and check out, hand the keys in. I have to say, this morning it's been a bit quieter than what I thought it was going to be. Anyway, we'll come back here later on when we get the Eurostar back to London. Right, we have checked out, but we've got a couple of hours to kill, so we're going to go to the Bastille and have a look around there.
Allô? Ouais, t'es arrivé? Ok, bah moi aussi je sors du métro là dans la station. Ouais. Bah on s'attend pas peut-être.
Bastille.
Hein? On s'attend pas du tout à l'entrée là.
Bastille.
Mais à l'entrée c'est un peu on va passer. Ah oui non, on a dit là, dans la rue tu peux? Non mais dis-moi, tu veux dans la rue? Ok, ça marche. Et bah alors à tout de suite.
Right, here we are around the Bastille area, the monument there. Now the Bastille prison was destroyed around 1790. replaced by the Palace de la Bastille. Right, we're back at Lumiere. It's now 10 to 2. Getting our cases, and now we're going to have one final Paris Metro ride to take us to Gare du Nord, where we check in for our Eurostar. Last time we'll say a Paris Metro train. Now to the Eurostar check-in. Right, gone through security, immigration, everything, and here we are on the Eurostar. And we are on one of the new ones. So we came on one of the older ones here, now we're getting a new one. And look much nicer than the older ones.
Veuillez placer vos bagages volumineux munis d'étiquettes dans les porte-bagages situés à l'extrémité des voitures. Les bagages à main doivent être rangés au-dessus de votre siège. Merci. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board this Eurostar service to fith and London St Pancras International. Please label your large item luggage and place them in the racks at the end of the carriage. Small and medium items should be placed above your seat. Thank you.
Goodbye, Paris. Au revoir.
Non, quand même, c'est à côté de sauce maintenant. La bonne chose, c'est que ça va nous sortir. Mais c'est bizarre, il va dire. Non, après j'ai fait parce que j'arrivais pas à mettre le nombre de personnes. Quand j'avais quelqu'un sur le
messieurs, bonjour, bienvenue à bord de cette Eurostar destination Bastille International et Londres St Pancras. Je suis Fabrice et avec Philippe, nous sommes vos train managers aujourd'hui. Nous allons passer dans le train, alors n'hésitez pas à nous faire signe pour nous poser vos questions sur votre voyage. Pour éviter tout retard sur ce service, je vous informe que ce train est équipé de détecteurs de fumée très sensibles, y compris dans les toilettes. Par conséquent, fumer ou utiliser des cigarettes électroniques est strictement interdit à bord et ceci durant tout le trajet. Merci par avance pour votre coopération. Café Métropole est d'ores et déjà ouvert dans les voitures 8 et 9. Nos collègues Hélène et Guillaume seront ravis de vous accueillir. Par l'ensemble de l'équipage présent à bord moi-même, nous vous souhaitons
Start
très
France,
agréable
some
voyage à
Denny's.
bord d'Eurostar. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board this Eurostar to Bastille International in London St Pancras. My name is Fabrice, my colleague Philippe and I are your train managers today. Please feel free to ask us anything about your journey as we pass through the train. To avoid any delays on this service, please be aware that this train is equipped with sensitive smoke detectors in the toilet. Therefore, smoking or using electronic cigarettes is strictly forbidden on board and during the journey. Thank you for your cooperation. Café Métropole is now open coaches 8 and 9. Our colleagues Hélène and Guillaume are looking forward to serving you. On behalf of the on-board staff and myself, I wish you a very pleasant journey aboard Eurostar.
There it is, down there. So somewhere up here will be Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Financial oil research all buildings.
Nah, I won't be able to see them.
Be over there, you can see plenty.
now 16:12 and we're just coming up to Lille. Just gone through it now. Just passing through Calais, and soon after this we'll be entering Channel Tunnel. Right, here we are now, 20 minutes in the Channel Tunnel. now, back on the homeland. We're just coming through Folkestone. This train does actually stop at Ebbsfleet. Before that, we've got Ashford to go through. Right, we're just going through Ashford and we're now 34 minutes from London. Coming up to Ebbsfleet. The train does actually stop here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the local time is 15 past 4 p.m. We will soon be arriving at Fith International for short stop. If you are leaving us here, please remember to take all your belongings with you and mind the gap between step and the platform. Thank you for traveling with Eurostar today. I hope that you have a very pleasant afternoon. Mesdames, Messieurs, il est 16h15, heure locale. Dans quelques instants, nous entrerons en gare d'Ebbsfleet International. Cet arrêt sera de courte durée si vous nous quittez ici. Assurez-vous de ne rien oublier à bord et faites attention à l'espace entre marchepied et le quai. Merci d'avoir choisi Eurostar aujourd'hui. Nous vous souhaitons une très bonne journée.
Passing through Dartford. The Dartford crossing was over there. Just up there's the sea-to-sea line, and that was Dagenham we just went past. Now we're going into the long tunnel. This will take us all the way to St Pancras.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London. We'll soon be arriving at St Pancras International. Please make sure you take your belongings with you when you leave the train and mind the gap between step and the platform. Thank you for traveling with Eurostar today. I hope that you have a very pleasant afternoon. Mesdames, Messieurs, bienvenue à Londres dans quelques instants dans notre gare de St Pancras International. Avant de descendre, assurez-vous de n'ouvrir l'oublier à bord du train et faites attention à l'espace entre marchepied et le quai. Merci d'avoir choisi Eurostar aujourd'hui. Nous souhaitons une très bonne journée.
pas ce que ça va être le prochain.
Right, it's now 5:10, back in jolly old England. We're now at St Pancras International Station. Gonna do half an hour session here, and I've had no problems whatsoever just getting on the platform. Now, I'm in London for 4 hours. It might be a bit tough because, unfortunately, there's been a bit of an incident in West London today. You probably know what it was, but I don't really like to mention it on my videos. So, at least I've gotten here no problem. I'm going to be doing this and King's Cross Station while I'm here. Anyway, we're in East Midlands territory. We've got HST there and Class 222 Meridian, that's going to Nottingham. The Eurostar's in the middle, which I was on earlier on, and there's the South Eastern High Speed Javelin services.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to St Pancras International. The train now boarding on platform number 4 is the 1745 East Midlands train service to Derby, calling at Luton Airport Parkway, Wellingborough, Kettering, Market Home, Leicester, Loughborough, East Midlands Parkway, Nottingham, Long Eaton and Derby. So again, the train now boarding on platform number 4 is the 1745 East Midlands train service to Derby, calling at Luton Airport Parkway, Wellingborough, Kettering, Market Home, Leicester, Loughborough, East Midlands Parkway, Nottingham, Long Eaton and Derby.
Right, I'm going to finish it here. So the plan is to do King's Cross, a couple of tube rides. We'll go and see Piccadilly Circus and Westminster before we go home. So this is where we swap the French capital for the British capital and the Paris Metro for the London Underground. Right, I'm at London King's Cross. It's now coming up to 6 o'clock. I've signed in, no problem. Obviously the staff told me to be extra aware. I'll do about half an hour here, then we'll move on to some sightseeing.
closed. Service to Bradford Square.
Right, I'm going to finish it there, and I'm going to get a bit of sightseeing done. Now, that train I just saw going to Newcastle was very full with people standing. I think that's because Euston Station at the moment is actually shut. I was going to be doing that station, but unfortunately if it's shut there's no point. There's been a bit of a fire around Wembley area, and it's shut off the line between Milton Keynes and Euston Station. Now, let's get some sightseeing done. Catch a Piccadilly line to Green Park. The Jubilee line, that Piccadilly line, there were severe delays on it, so that train that I got off was going nowhere. Changing here for the Jubilee to get to Westminster.
Here for Buckingham Palace.
This train terminates at Stratford.
This train is ready to depart. Please stand clear of the doors. Wind the close the doors.
Circle and District line. Exit for Westminster Abbey and Houses of Parliament.
Right, as it's starting to rain, we've come to Westminster, and here is Big Ben. Unfortunately, Big Ben has now stopped chiming for a few years while they carry out restoration works. The Houses of Parliament there, and also we've swapped the River Seine for the River Thames. Here is the London Eye. Down there are the Golden Jubilee bridges at Charing Cross. Charing Cross station is to the left. And hopefully one year we'll be back here, have a couple of nights, and I can fancy going on one of the Thames cruises. It'd be wonderful. Right onto Piccadilly Circus we go, so we'll get 2 tubes to get there. Nice to see you, Big Ben. Till we meet again. Just a little short visit. Hopefully I'll see you maybe next year.
District line, the train now approaching is to Upminster. Please stand behind the yellow line as the train approaches. Use the full length of the platform and let passengers off the train.
National Rail Services service. Tickets valid on London buses, South Western Railway and London Metro.
Right, we're at Piccadilly Circus for a quick pit stop. Now the lights are not on. They're getting refurbished and I don't know when they switch on. This is Shaftesbury Avenue over here. Boris Master buses here. And beyond it is Regent Street. Right, we're going to head back to St Pancras, get our luggage and then go over to King's Cross. It's been nice to have a little mini outing here in London. It's been good. Tube ride to get back to King's Cross.
Northern and Piccadilly lines, national and international rail services. This station has step-free access.
here we go, getting on the 2100 to Newcastle. We get off at Durham and we're due there for midnight. Then we'll get a taxi home. Right, we're back in the northeast of England. We're back in Durham now. It's now midnight on Saturday morning. We're going to get a taxi from here straight back to Chesterley Street, and I'll do my video outro tomorrow afternoon, I should say. So from this particular bit, it's good night, and I'll see you, well, to you in a few moments time, but for me it will be tomorrow. Right, everyone, a few seconds have passed for you, but for me it has been at least 14 hours. I'm back home now. We got home late last night and I was just too tired to do this outro, so as soon as I got home, went straight to bed, and that was it. So, full summary of the whole holiday. Went to Paris. What an amazing city it is. It's a city of stunning beauty. Now, before going to Paris, I was nervous after what's happened there in recent years with terrorism and also Brexit ongoing as well. I was always going to wonder how would I get on filming over there, whether it's the stations or the metro or anywhere else. And you know what, the entire week I had not a single bit of bother. It was brilliant. Not one bit of bother on the Paris Metro or RER or on the stations. We'll go through each one as I go through the outro each day. Monday, got the bus to Durham. Got the train from Durham to King's Cross, and we did get off to a bit of a dodgy start. The train came into Durham, and unfortunately the speedometer in the DVT basically stopped working, so what the driver had to do was turn the train around by going into the 91 at the rear, and then take the train back via Newcastle and then go south, which meant the rest of the journey the train was done in reverse formation. That obviously delayed us by 35 minutes, and then on the route we were further delayed at Newark Northgate because there was a broken down Grand Central train in front of us. Now all in all meant we got to London King's Cross at about 1 hour late, which meant I couldn't do any filming there, so I didn't have time. Then we went to check in at the Eurostar departures. Checking in at Eurostar for our first time was a bit scary. We had to go through four stages of security. You check in, and then you get your bags all scanned. You put them on a tray and they go through the scanner. And then you get our passport checked, and then we get a photograph taken as well. Took a bit of time, but once we were through security, everything was alright. We got one of the older Eurostar trains going there. The ride, the scenery's brilliant. Going through the Channel Tunnel for the first time, that was good, and then the scenery across northern France was super. And we got to Paris, Gare du Nord at 13 minutes to 5. Then got our Paris Visite tickets. In fact, I'll show you what we used to get around. I'll just got them here. Right, this is how small Paris Visite tickets are. This is how small Paris tickets are actually on the metro. So these costed us about €40, but they were used for 5 days. We could use them on zones 1 to 3 for 5 days. Use it on the metro, RER, the buses, trams. There was a tram system in Paris, but it was in the suburbs and we didn't have time to do that. You can also use it on the local trains as well. Very impressive them actually. I'm going to keep them as a keepsake. We got the metro to our hotel. We stopped in at Ibis Budget Hotel in a park called Lumiere. Now, the hotel was clean, breakfast was good. The rooms were clean as well, but the beds itself were not good. I was basically sleeping on concrete, and I hardly got any sleep on them as well. So for a few nights, I was just tired nearly each day. And once we checked in, unpacked, got sorted, we went back out, straight away looked at the Eiffel Tower. See that the Eiffel Tower is absolute and amazing structure. It's much better seeing it lit up at night. When it's lit up at night, it's breathtaking, especially when it sparkles on the hour. I've got a few videos of that. We managed to get around on the Paris Metro, no problems whatsoever. One of the best lines of the Metro was the one that goes across the River Seine, because you then get a view of the Seine, the Eiffel Tower, and all the other buildings as well. It was brilliant. So after the Eiffel Tower, went back to the hotel for the night. So moving on to Tuesday. Went and did my very first French train spotting session at Gare du Nord station. Gare du Nord was good. In fact, all the other terminals in Paris were good. There was a chance to see a mixture of local and intercity trains, and I would say compared to our trains, the ones over there, they're much bulkier and bigger as well. They've got double-decker trains as well over there, whereas obviously we don't. Did Gare du Nord station for about 35 minutes, although one of the annoying things with the TGVs is when they were double length, it meant it blocked the view, so I couldn't see what was on the other side. And then we went back to the Eiffel Tower because the plan was for me to go up the tower, but unfortunately that day there was a French national strike on, which meant the tower top was actually shut. So we moved on to the Arc de Triomphe. Oh, actually we went to the Arc de Triomphe on the Monday night and saw that up and went on the Champs-Élysées as well. The views from the top of the Arc de Triomphe were brilliant. Obviously not as good as what you get from the top of the Eiffel Tower, but the good thing was that we actually got up for free, whereas it would have costed us, I would think, about maybe €14 each to go up the top of the tower. So we were lucky that day, of course. Then after the Arc de Triomphe, we walked all right down the Champs-Élysées. It's a nice shopping street. It's got some lovely like palm trees, lit up at night. That street's amazing as well. And we got the metro to another station, Gare Saint-Lazare. Now this station sort of reminded me of Marylebone. It was like a bit dark, different platforms, so it actually felt like being in Marylebone station. Here again it was just a mixture of local trains as well that went from the station. Again, had no problems, just walked straight on the platform and started filming straight away. Did about half an hour there, and then after that we obviously went back to the hotel, came back out, and we went to an area called Opera. Saw the music, like Academy of Music. I thought the Opera area, Grands Boulevards, was not as lively as what the Champs-Élysées was. In fact, we liked it so much, we went back there later on that night. And then after that, we came back to the hotel and finished it there. So, moving on to Wednesday. Now, Wednesday was not the best day we had. Unfortunately, the weather was not very good all day. It was heavy rain all day. Start of the day, I went to Gare de l'Est, which is just next to Gare du Nord. Here we get some intercity trains and local trains. The station was pretty much open air. It was all canopies and that. But again, no problems whatsoever. Did half an hour there. And then we went to Musée du Louvre. One thing we wanted to see, me and my mum wanted to see in there, was the Mona Lisa. And actually I got in the Louvre for free because I'm only just under 26. So I got in there by the skin of my teeth, whereas my mum got in for about €15. To get in some of the museums there is about as cheap as what it is getting into the museums over here, which seemed good. Looked around the Louvre, lovely bits of artwork all around, but the highlight for us was seeing the Mona Lisa. They say she follows you wherever you go, whether you move to the left or the right. She's just always staring at you. And then after the Louvre, we did a couple of other terminals. Went and did Gare de Lyon, which was one of the major ones. Their trains go to the south of France. They also go like Marseille, Avignon, and also Nice as well. to get to Nice would take 6 hours. To be honest, I think it'd be better off flying to there. Gare du Nord was good. The station looked a bit tatty. It was raining, it was leaking everywhere as well. And overall got a good selection of TGVs and also the local trains. I forgot to mention, at Gare de l'Est, I got to see the one of the ICE German trains. I would have loved to go on one of them because they're modern, they're super quick, they're probably comfy, and they're probably the ride quality will be better than, in fact the train will be better than what some of that are over here. And after Gare du Nord, walked to another one, Gare de l'Est. Now, one half of Austerlitz station looked quiet. There was a massive over roof, but which was leaking again. One half of it was very quiet, whereas the other half was the more busier. It was covered in, and it had a sort of bit of a Charing Cross, Euston, Liverpool Street feel to it. It was alright, again, no problems whatsoever. Then after that we went back to the lodge, and then came back out, and then we went to see the Notre Dame Cathedral. The Notre Dame was nice. Now, I actually went to Paris 11 years ago with a school, so what we were trying to do was go to places where I had been with a school, but this time we'll be able to do however we wanted to do it. Because when I was with the school, we'd only go where we were took. At least this time we could go to where we wanted to go. Unfortunately, the rain kept on going all the way during the night. It was just appalling. So we were wet around the Notre Dame area. We had some classic French meals. I had beef tartare, which was that was delicious. That. And after the Notre Dame, we went back to the lodge, turned in for the night. Moving on to Thursday. Thursday, the weather was much nicer. This was my last chance to get to the top of the Eiffel Tower, so I went straight back over there, and that is what I did. Because I always wanted to do that, and finally I got the chance to. The views from the top of the Eiffel Tower are amazing, and they beat Blackpool Tower by a million miles. It took a bit of time, half an hour queuing up there. Oh, it also took half an hour to queue to get into the Louvre as well. You go through a couple of security checks and of course get your ticket as well. After the Eiffel Tower, we had a nice cruise down the River Seine. That's one of the best ways to see Paris, by going on a 1 hour cruise and then taking in different sights as they come towards you. At least the weather did hold out for that, although it did rain at times, it was mixed, but at least most of the day that was sunny, which was good. After the riverboat cruise, the last terminal what I had to do was Montparnasse. Now this station really did feel like Euston and Liverpool Street stations. The amount of traffic when I got was good, however, at this station I was quite nervous as it looked a bit intimidating and I was worried in case we would get challenged or anything. So we only did half an hour and then basically cut it there. But all in all, half an hour, that was still good. I still got quite a bit of traffic in that time. After Montparnasse, went back to the lodge, came back out, and went back to the Eiffel Tower one more time, saw it sparkle a couple of times as well, and was a way to say goodbye to Paris. Oh, by the way, on the Paris Metro, you need to be careful on the system because there are a lot of beggars who are walking around on it, and yes, I did get the odd evil look from a couple of them, but unfortunately they're there everywhere, and people just do that. It happens. Turned in for the night on the Thursday. Now, moving on to the Friday. I went and filmed Gare du Nord one more time, and compared to Tuesday it was actually more quieter, nice and sunny as well. Didn't get any Eurostars going out, but it seemed like it was a lot more quieter. maybe all the trains would probably due a little later in the day. Again, like Tuesday, I had no problems at all. You can also see the Paris metro trains going across into La Chapelle metro station, which was just round the corner from Gare du Nord. I did about 35-40 minutes there, and then we went and checked out, and we went to have a look at the Bastille, where the Bastille prison was. That was demolished in the 1700s, and now there's just a Place de la Bastille. It's a monument that was standing there, and it's a roundabout. I was just getting tired and I was ready to come home, so we went back to the lodge, got our stuff, went to Gare du Nord, checked in, went through security, and then got on our Eurostar. And this time I got on one of the newer Eurostar trains. Now these ones, they get up to speed a lot quicker, it felt more comfy as well, and at least this time they had plug-in points so I could actually charge my mobile phone up. The Wi-Fi didn't work, unfortunately. Oh well, the good thing was we could actually use our mobile phones without even incurring any data roaming charges, because in June an EU directive came out and the data roaming charges were stopped. So it means you can use your phone now, whatever network you're on, in anywhere in Europe. It'll just be used the same way as how you'd use it over here, although I think in certain countries there are still some restrictions. Now, we got back to London at 20 to 5. Now, unfortunately, I was a bit nervous as to what was going to happen, because yesterday, that's the day before I filmed this outro, unfortunately there was a terrorist attack in Parsons Green on one of the tube trains. At least no one was killed, but there were quite a lot of people injured. I just hope everyone was alright. That of course made us wonder, am I going to be able to get on the stations? I only wanted to do 2, and at least I did 2. St Pancras, no problem, just to ask East Midlands trains and they let us on straight away. So I got about 35-40 minutes and got the usual East Midlands trains, Eurostar and High Speed 1 traffic there. Then I went over to King's Cross, signed in, no problem. They did say to us just be extra aware of after what happened. The good thing was it was peak time, so that gives it, so it means I filmed more trains than probably what I would have done at any other time. Got to see the Class 90 DB. Saw first Hull trains and Grand Central as well. And then afterwards we had a couple of hours to kill, so we did a few tube rides, went to Westminster, had a look at Big Ben, which sadly has stopped chiming now for the next few years. It's only going to chime on certain occasions like New Year's Eve and Remembrance Day. And it started raining a little bit as well. And then we went to Piccadilly Circus. Now, the lights at Piccadilly Circus are off at the moment. They're due to switch on this autumn. I thought they'd switched on already, but no, it was covered in scaffolding. So that was a bit disappointing, but it was good to be there, and just take in the atmosphere. So Regent Street, Shaftesbury Avenue. And then came back to St Pancras, got our luggage. We didn't want to be carrying luggage around on the tube, so we just left it at left luggage at St Pancras station. And then got the 2100 from King's Cross back to Durham. Got back to Durham at midnight, and then we got a taxi home last night. We were too tired to get the night bus. Well, thank you for watching this and every other part. I hope you've enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter, AliceDoes4, the link is on the bottom left hand corner of the screen. Now, this holiday is finished, but I'm out again next Monday. That's the Monday after I film this. The 18th of September to the 20th I will be in Aberdeen for a couple of nights. Also, I'll be going to Inverness while I'm up there as well on the Tuesday. So that's the reason for the trip, is I'll get to see Inverness for the first time. That's the only city in Scotland I haven't done yet. Now, after what's happened in London has made me even more nervous for Aberdeen, because, okay, well, Aberdeen has got better in recent years, but it was a known Jobsworth location. So it'd be interesting to see how I do get on. Hopefully it should be fine. I'll go on the 18th and I'll come back on the 20th. Well, thank you very much for watching, and until that diary, I'll see you next time. Good afternoon and good night. Au revoir.